What's going on, pursuers? Welcome to The Pursuit of Calling, the podcast that provides you with the strategies and tools needed to successfully discover and pursue your calling. Whether it's through inspiring stories, thought-provoking interviews, or quick, insightful episodes on personal growth and development, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Thomas Carney. Enjoy the episode. Well, I've turned 30. A big 3-0. On April 27th, I turned 30 years old. And that was a Sunday. And at church that day, people asked me if I felt any different. And honestly, this is one of the first times I can actually say, yeah, I do. And it sounds kind of strange. You know, I say that because, well, it got me thinking about the growth that has happened to me within the last decade of my life. You know, how much I've changed and how much I've grown. Thinking all the way back, you know, I think about like where I was when I was 20 years old in college, learning about computer science for the first time and not really caring much about my future. I was irresponsible. I didn't really care that much. And some people might think like, yeah, that's just how life is in that time of life. And then I'm like, it doesn't need to be. I know 20-year-olds that are way better off than I was. And not to discount myself, but I'm like, man, life could have been really different. But I also wouldn't trade it because now my life is really cool. You know, I was taking the life God has given. I was taking the life God gave me for granted, essentially. Between the years of 21 and 22, I was going out to bars, getting drunk, either whether that be at the bar or in my dorm room, and I was treating myself and others with disrespect. Then there was a relationship, and a whole bunch of pain and stupidity. You know, I learned a lot from those years, mainly what not to do. And, but as a result of going through all of that pain and all of that suffering, all the stupidity that caused that, I healed and learned a lot. You know, my biggest takeaway from these last 10 years is that change happens regardless of what you do. Change happens with time, no matter what. But growth needs to be intentional. Change happens no matter what, but growth needs to be intentional. My favorite years are the ones where I've been intentional with my own personal growth. From the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, in the chapter titled "The Law of Intentionality," John Maxwell says, "Once you're done with formal education, you must take complete ownership of the growth process because nobody else will do it for you." That's been my experience. Once I started taking my own personal growth seriously around the age of about 26 years old, my life really started to take a shift. You know, it started with my health, my eating habits. I started working out more. I stopped drinking, which wasn't intentional, but it falls under me getting healthier. And how I managed my finances. I was making a budget, and I was sticking to the budget, and I paid off all my debt within this last decade. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. I was focusing on personal growth and development. I was reading books that interest me and that have and will set me up for success. Ones I have mentioned multiple times on this on this podcast. Including the 15 Valuable Laws of Growth. I grown in my relationship. I actually found and then grew in my relationship with Jesus Christ. I'm continuing to grow in that. And I want to say something kind of funny. As I was typing this out, I thought about how my financial habits and my health habits actually became intertwined with each other. Because you know how I said when I stopped drinking, and that I stopped drinking, but that was unintentional. A reason I stopped drinking was because I wanted to save money and pay off my debt. I wanted to pay off my student loans. and alcohol is expensive. Therefore, I had to stop paying for alcohol because I had debt. And once I stopped, I realized how much better my life was without it. Now that I have, not that I had a problem or that I have a problem with other people drinking or having a drink or two, I just think that I just know I really just liked how I felt whenever I was drinking. So I had two things going for me to stop drinking. One, the initial reason was because it was expensive. The thing that kept it going, was that, honestly, anytime I have a drink, I just don't feel good. So I just don't. And I am better off for it. I believe that fully. Why do any of this, though? What's the point? Why do I continuously decide to pursue these areas of my life? It's because I have a vision for my life and values to strive and uphold. That without the intentional focus on my health, finances, personal growth, and faith, that vision would never be possible. What is the vision I have of my life? The vision I have is to be a financially free and physically healthy married man and father who isn't tied to one source of income, a man who puts God before all else and intentionally leads his family to do the same. I think a lot of people say there's some people say, like, you shouldn't have your own goals because God will provide you with goals. Other people, I think I'm more along the lines of it's good to have goals, but just be okay when they change. Especially if they're like far out goals. That is the vision I have on my life, and maybe that vision will change. I expect it to, but that's the vision I'm working towards right now. Even if this vision never fully comes to fruition, I'm going to continue to pursue it because, what's the other option? To stop growing? You might as well, this is going to sound blunt, and I wrote it in my notes. I wasn't sure if I should say it, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you're not growing, you're dying. I wrote in my notes, you might as well just die then. I think John Maxwell says, I said it fast, I'm going to say it again. If you're not growing, if you're not intentionally growing in your life, John Maxwell would essentially say that you're essentially just already dead. You just haven't realized it yet. And when he said that, that hit me. I'm like, I need to continuously grow. Because otherwise, what's the point? I think he also says he likes to be growth-oriented versus goal-oriented, because whenever you grow, whenever all these things grow, these goals will be fulfilled. And if personal growth isn't something that that you're intentionally pursuing right now, maybe that doesn't make as much sense. But if you've grown in any area of your life, you realize that growth has to happen before you achieve the goal that you're looking to achieve. So that's a little bit of food for thought for you. And so I want to ask you, what have you been intentionally growing in, let's say, the last 2 years? If it's nothing, what are you going to start growing in, and why? If you haven't been intentional about your growth, start today. Write down right now what you're going to intentionally grow in, whether that be managing your finances better, whether that be in your faith, whether that be in your health, or whether it be in your career, in your relationship with others. Whatever you want to intentionally grow in, do that, and then find the resources, the people to help you intentional. That's what it means to be intentional. It's not just to think about how you can grow, but also learn from others and learn from other resources and how you can grow, because there's other people that have been and are where you want to be. That was a lot of words. Let me just summarize it. There are other people that have already been and are where you want to be. So seek them out and seek the books that they wrote and other resources that they put out there. So my calling is to provide people with the tools needed to successfully discover and pursue their calling. In order to do that, again, I need to pursue mine well. I need to pursue my own calling well in order to help others pursue theirs. We need to pursue our calling well in all aspects of our life so that we can serve those we've been called to serve with excellence. In these last 10 years, I've gone from someone who didn't care at all about their future to being someone who does everything for it. This doesn't mean that to forget about the here and now. In order to live a life worth living, you need to spend it with those you love and who love you. So yes, you're growing for your future, but you're also growing in order to be a better brother, a better sister, a friend, a better spouse, mentor, mentee, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to say, in the here and now. You're growing for the future, but obviously you're also growing for the here and now. You're grow today so you can have a better tomorrow, so you can be better tomorrow and do that every single day. So let me leave you with the question: what's one area of your life that you can intentionally pursue growth in this week? If you're not already pursuing an area of growth, what area would that be? Okay, I might have sounded like maybe a little bit more pushy this episode. And however, I think that's okay, because I honestly know if you're listening to this episode right now, if you stuck it through till the end, that you are a person of value that adds value to others. I know that you value people. I know that you are a person that values growth. So I think I'm pretty sure it's okay to talk to you like this, and talk to you, one, like you're an adult, and also like you have standards for yourself, and you're okay with setting new ones. Oh, dang. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. If you know the drill. If you like this episode, actually better yet, if you got some value from this episode, share it on social media, on Facebook, X, Instagram. Give this, whatever platform you're on, give this episode a 5-star review. Give it a comment. And guys, I'll see you next time.